Paul, great defend tonight, but I guess it's really kind of neglect that not being able to get all four of it on this field.
Yeah, it's been out for a little bit and finding some rhythm. I don't think he had a ton of great shots. He had maybe 3 or 4 early that were pretty open, finding him on some, swing passes and stuff, and the rest of it was pretty much, faced up and tough. I thought he made a couple there in the fourth to keep us moving a little bit, but just a little bit out of rhythm.
Is there anything from that game aside from just shooting 12 for 40 from three that you think was a main cause, or was it as simple as not shooting the ball?
So listen, it's pretty disappointing when your defense is that good, right? To not have it translate into something. I mean, we turned them over 22 times. I thought we were it was the only like major probably flaws in it is they posted us up in our small lineup a few times and got a couple quick turnarounds, and so even some of those were pretty tough shots, but a couple in transition over the top, maybe 3 or 4 of those. Everything else was a pretty good battle. There's a couple other transition ones in the first half where they got it into the paint and fired it out to the corner. So yeah, I think the defense did enough to get a win today, and we just could have used a little better shooting night or a little better offensive execution night. I mean, 96 shots to 83, you should win most of those. Yeah.
Nick, they won the glass by 12 tonight. Is there anything that they specifically do to sort of take control of the glass besides just having bigger bodies?
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you miss that many shots, you're gonna lose on the glass, right? Probably, because they're gonna get a good chunk of defensive. I mean, 13 they had a 13 rebound advantage on the defensive end. It felt like we were giving up some offensive ones. Right, we had 4-on-1 possession once for their 13. We had 11 offensive, but I think just most of it sheer volume of misses. Yeah, they did a pretty good job on our small lineup of crashing the glass too. Right.
So I know the trade was still pending, but what are some things you see out of Quentin Grimes' game that he can bring to the Sixers? And what are some things about Caleb's game that he can bring to the Magic?
Yeah. So, hopefully Quentin's gonna be a floor spacer for us and also a good defender. A two-way player. Um, that's what kind of what he's been doing, and hopefully he can fit into that slot with us. We certainly can use the spacing, and again, we like guys that'll work hard on defense and get into the ball and do some things, and we think he's capable of doing that as well. Um, Caleb's kind of track record speaks for itself. He's kind of a utility guy that's played amazing in the playoffs. So that's probably what Dallas is gonna get.
Is there an expectation that maybe Wayne could possibly play on Friday?
I would hope so. I don't know. I don't know. For a couple more days, we can't get it done by then. I would hope so.
What is
Last
deadline
night,
day like for you? Just over the years,
This tomorrow.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Usually nothing has happens till deadline day. Like I don't know how many years in a row. Like there wasn't a single move until the day. So it's usually a flurry of stuff. But it seems like a lot of stuff's kind of trickled in and happened, and a little bit strange tomorrow because we are not allowed to practice off a back to back. So we won't see anybody, and we'll meet on the plane, and so I'll probably be checking in with Daryl and Elton as the day goes on, see what's going on. Watching the news like you guys. Yep.
It just seemed like tonight y'all just didn't have it. Like the shots weren't falling. Just was a bad night. You think yesterday had something to do with it? You guys tired? What was different? You think?
Obviously, we can say there's something that has to do with fatigue, but like you said, shots wasn't falling. We had some wide open looks that we were missing. We missed a couple layups, couple pull back. I think we were fine defensively, but a little bit off offensively tonight.
saw that kind of moment in the locker room between you and Reggie when he was sort of talking you through some stuff. Can you share a little bit about that and also just how valuable that is for you as a rookie to have veterans who want to, you know, help you along even after a game and sort of go over stuff, I guess.
That was huge. Reggie does that a lot. Because there's a situation during the game where I kind of got stuck. Am I setting the screen or am I sleeping or he was talking me through that. It was like, we know you play really fast. You can get out of the screen quick. Sometimes you have to hold the screen to gain an advantage to be able to run down to the paint faster. So he was just talking to me about like my pace with the screen, holding the screen, and to be able to like mix it up a little bit. So
To that point, I guess, do you like which end of the floor do you feel like is coming to you faster?
yeah, sorry, come again.
Like which end of the floor is coming to you faster in terms of development wise?
I wouldn't say there's any end that's coming faster. There's a lot of adjustment I gotta do on both ends for sure. Defensively I gotta be able to limit the fouls, to be able to show the ref my hands and like get the chip fouls. And also offensively I gotta be ready, know when to sleep, I want to hold the screen. I think there's just little changes I just gotta adjust to, and also knowing personnel, knowing who I'm playing with. I know Tyrese plays fast, I can sleep more, and with Reggie, I have to hold the screen sometimes with Kyle, So they just knowing who I'm playing with on the floor and make the adjustment.
You just mentioned Tyrese. Obviously, he had another 30-point night tonight. I mean, we see what he does on the floor every game, but as his teammate for the first time, just how would you describe the impact he's had during these first 50 games and just what he actually means to?
Now Tyrese is first of all he's an amazing person and he's an amazing basketball player too. On and off the court. To be able to share the floor with someone like that, he just elevates your game, Playing with him even makes me better. He draws a lot of attention to himself. He gets me sometimes on the sleep, sometimes on the fake handoff. To be able to set screens for him to get open, that just makes me look good. So playing with him makes me look good, and it's just a blessing to be able to have someone like that as your teammate.
You've been getting pretty steady minutes recently. Are you feeling more comfortable? Or are you feeling like you're kind of in a rhythm now?
Yeah, I guess that happens with minutes, When you start playing, you get more comfortable, and being on the floor gives you confidence. So I believe that comes with playing.
Oh, how did it kind of feel to just be back out there and try and kind of get your rhythm back and everything?
Yeah, I mean, it felt great to play basketball again, be back on the floor with the guys. I played a little bit of leading up to this, but nowhere close to, getting a rhythm back. I don't think I'm far off. It was just good to get back out there and, try to trust the brakes on the pinky and go from there.
I guess what's the biggest thing kind of holding you back? Like with that pinky is, or if there is anything kind of holding you back with it at all?
I mean, it's just being comfortable going left, being comfortable dribbling it. There's, little zingers here and there when the ball bounces and hit it, but, it's just trying to get comfortable with that. It's more of a feel thing, and every moment I was kind of thinking about it, and some plays I was getting it caught on jerseys or just a couple things here and there, but I'll get comfortable with it.
From Chicago, when it happened up until tonight, what was that process like for you? Just sort of going through and watching the swelling go down, or getting fitted for braces. And whatnot?
Yeah, I mean all of that from just it was just weird. The pinky it was bent, and I thought the pinky cramped or something like that, and then I looked down and I couldn't move it. And then now knowing that it was tendon torn on it, so the whole process now is just trying to keep it straight as possible. 24/7 this thing is on, try to keep the pinky straight. So it's a part of me as of now. So that's kind of just been the process leading up to now.
Have they given you any idea of like how long you're gonna have to wear stuff on it?
Yeah, I mean at least 6 weeks. At least 6 weeks. Hopefully the tendons, scars down back to the bone. Thankfully no surgery needed, but yeah, I was told at least 6 weeks.
Well, how frustrating has this season been for you? Because, came in with high expectations. Then it seems like you have an injury.
Mhm.
Get back, find your groove. Another injury.
Mhm.
And then this one comes.
Yeah, I mean, super frustrating, especially, coming in with big goals and what I wanted to accomplish and what the team wants to accomplish, and then to always have these setbacks. It's super frustrating. I for sure feel it. But, all the bad luck, something has to change. And so that's all I can kind of weigh on is things will change. There is positive in all of it. Just got to weather the storm.
I know we talked about a lot about Tyrese and everything that he's had to sort of shoulder throughout this year. Just as a new teammate of his, like watching him sort of go through that all this year, what has most impressed you about just the way he's handled everything?
Yeah, yeah. I talked about it, countless of times of just his maturity. At his age, what he's been dealt with, what he has to do for us on a nightly basis. And he's rose to the occasion every night. He doesn't complain, gets ready, gets prepared. He goes out there and give it his all and leaves it on the floor. He's such a happy kid, such a positive kid. And he's a leader, for his age. He's a guy that's in the locker room. He's talking. He's, motivating guys. And he just has a great spirit about him. Beyond the basketball, I mean, you see it on the basketball court. He's, this is my, obviously first time being on the same team with him, but to watch him up close, you're watching him grow and you're watching him become a better basketball player, a better playmaker, a better scorer. And I think he's realizing how to control the game. So, the sky's the limit for him. He's definitely, made big steps on becoming a better basketball player.
Well, I know Caleb was a really well-liked guy in the locker room, professional, really competitive. But setting aside the basketball side of the deadline, how difficult is it on a human level to just deal with the total uncertainty, especially when, this week with all the, big name guys getting moved, it feels like anybody can get traded.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's part of the business. Caleb was my plane bunkie. We sat next to each other on the plane and on flights, and we talked a lot. We talked a ton. We're connected. I told him that when he left. We're connected. He's just a real dude, man, and he plays with so much heart. And he was, someone in the locker room that, he would fire guys up. He's a guy that always wanted to compete and play hard and go out there and give it everything he has. So that will be missed. But it is tough. Again, you grow relationships with guys and part of the business, sometimes they won't be there to finish what they started. And, you got to go on. And now we have a new, brother in our locker room, Quentin, to, build that relationship with and, make the most of it.
I mean, you've been in the league for a long time, and you've been part of these big, like blockbuster, kind of shocking trades to outsiders. Just what has it been like for you to watch? What's everything that's happened over the last few days, and what is trade deadline day like for you? Are you someone who's constantly checking your phone, or you sort of just look at it at 3:00? Like, just sort of how do you sort of handle all of that?
Yeah, a lot different now than where it used to be. I used to be sad on trade deadline days. First couple years in the league, because I, naive to the league and what the business was, and wet behind the ears, thinking that these guys are my teammates forever, and so there was moments where I used to be sad on trade deadlines. But now it is a bit of drama that goes along with it, with checking who's been traded, who's going where, what's going on around the league. As for me, if I'm traded, I'm traded. There's nothing I can do about it. So I don't put too much towards that. But at the same time, who doesn't like a little drama to see what's going on around the league?
Even to that point, I mean, you've been a veteran. Do you have like any advice to like anybody, to the maybe younger guys, or maybe anything when it comes to handling the deadline?
Yeah, I mean, advice that I was told, when I first got into the league, that you play for 29 other teams in the NBA, and so some team is going to want you, So I think, you handle yourself as a professional, and because of that, you might have been playing great. Some team sees value in that. And so, it may be a good trade for you, something that allows you a better opportunity. You get to play more, you get to unlock potential. And so you kind of have to look at it that way. I think some team or some guys get salty about it, rightfully so. You've been somewhere for so long, and, you establish roots there, and you established a home base, and you get moved. But you got to always be, mindful that this is a business, and no loyalty lies there. It's business.
Going off of that,
Dave, you have one? Let's go, Austin, Dave. No.
but going off of that, like in a league that is so driven by stars, and where the stars are usually the ones that are the commanding voices in trades, what was your reaction to seeing Luka being moved like that on Saturday?
I mean, that was crazy. Insanity. Like, I don't know what else to like. You talk about a top 5 player who just went to the finals, and they essentially maybe got better with adding Clay to the mix with shooting and stuff around them. Who knows? They have another shot at making it to the finals. So that it was crazy. It was crazy, but I think for all of it, people are looking at, obviously Luka was young, and Lakers getting a young cornerstone or a young franchise player. I think Dallas got better as well. With that lineup with, Kyrie, Clay, AD, and Gafford. That's a big, lineup in the front court. And AD gets to play his primary position. So when you look at it holistically, I think it's a win-win on both sides. But doesn't make it like, that was a crazy deal that went down.
Last one.
With 32 regular season games left, and where you guys are in the standings, there's still time to get hot and shock some people. How essential is it for you, Joel, and Tyrese to be in the lineup more consistently together over those 32 games?
Very, very. I think, that was the reason, to come back and give it a go. I want to maximize the rest of this season, try to make some movement. We got a chance to kind of climb up and get back into a play-in or, a 6th spot, if all goes well. So, yeah, this last, stretch after All-Star break, for sure going into All-Star break is very important.
Tyrese, I guess, just a tough shooting night for you guys as a whole. Was it just kind of just make or miss, or was it something Miami did really well for you guys?
We missed some good looks. I think for me, honestly, I mean, I'm just a little tired, not gonna lie. But that's how it goes. I mean, we still got looks to win the game, you know what I mean? We still were in the game at the end, and that's all you can ask for.
The fatigue thing, Tyrese, is that as simple as the back-to-back, or has it just been this whole run-in where you guys have had, 3 games of 4 nights and a ton of these back-to-backs in a row?
Yeah, I think it's the entirety of it, you know what I mean? But it's it's part of it. I mean, a day off for me, it does like wonders. You know what I'm saying? Just because how hard I play, and the minutes that I play, and I just go out there and try to win every single night. So tomorrow I'll be fine, get a day off, rest, fly, and I'll be back to normal come Friday. So it's okay.
What is the key to a rest and recovery day for you?
Do nothing.
This was also game 50 for you guys this year.
Sheesh.
We've talked a lot about everything you kind of manage and handle all throughout the season, but do you ever take like checkpoints throughout the year and sort of sit and reflect, or is it too much to do that in the midst of
I don't think I do that in the midst of the season. I think I will do it when I get home. I'll probably look at it. Just because we have, how many games do we have left? 32? Yeah, we have 32 games left. We know what we need to do. You know what we need to get in these 32 games, and we just got to go out there, execute it, and get it.
Tyrese, there have been a lot of guys this week who, I think after that Luka trade, who aren't normally thinking about getting traded, are like, well, if he can get moved, so can I. Did you have any moments like that, or did you just, box all that out and not think about it?
I mean, I'll say this. For me, as soon as I stepped in the league after like game 10, I was in trade talks. So like, Then the trade deadline came that year. I was in trade talks. The next year I was in trade. Like I'm used to it, so like I know it's part of the business. Like it is what it is. I understand. Like if Luka gets traded at 25, anybody can get traded, right? So you got to go out there and do your job. At the end of the day, cherish the moments that you have with each organizations. Don't burn any bridges. Be a good person. Make sure you speak to everybody, and those things mean a lot. People notice those things, and you never know what can happen, and you never know where you could end up. So you try not to burn any bridges and just be nice to everybody.
Is to that point, what do you do on trade deadline day? Are you someone who's checking your phone frequently? Or are you someone who just is like, I'll look at it at 3 o'clock and will somebody tell me if something happens with our team? Like, how do you sort of?
No, I'm definitely gonna check.
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna check. Probably get a few texts from Joe, him checking as well. But yesterday was a crazy day. Losing Caleb and whatever we got going on with extra stuff. But it's just like you feel weird when you're not where you're by your phone and not checking after you checked all day. But I mean, trade deadline is a part of it. It's part of that's why I think our league is so special. I mean it is tough for guys, but it's really cool, man. It's entertainment for our fans.
Has everything you guys have gone through this year made it easier to block out the noise of a week like this?
Yeah, yeah. We've gone through a lot, so this is I'm not gonna say low on the totem pole because it's definitely high, but we've been through a lot, and I think guys are fighting through adversity, and that's okay.
I know you have a such a pre-existing relationship with Quentin. Just I'm sure you've spoken to him. Just how had those conversations been so far?
Right? No, just excited, man. I play with him on USA team, so it's good to see him in the league. I'm sad I didn't get to play against him in the playoffs when I was in high school. I told him I would send him home, me and Chris. But yeah, I'm happy to have him. I think he's going to bring a lot to this team. He can shoot the ball, he can handle the ball, he can play defense. He's going to be a good asset to our team.
You feel sort of a responsibility as the point guard to sort of help people get up to speed. Someone like him who's like being thrust into a crazy situation.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I will as soon as as soon as they're ready to involve him. So I just told him like, hey man, I'm glad to have you. Hit me if you need anything. Get my number and stuff. Yeah, like that's really all you can do right now until he's able to step on the court.
I know that you talked about it a lot, just this whole season relying on your family and those who are close to you to help you mentally through it. I'm wondering too, were there any players that you reached out to as well as far as like just how to take a step in leadership and handling these types of adverse situations or anything along those lines?
I mean, Kyle is good that he's here. You know what I mean? He does a really good job of just helping me lead and helping myself, you know what I'm saying, helping my mental, so I do appreciate him. I haven't reached out to a lot of guys. I probably will. I talk to guys when we play against them after the game. They ask me questions about our team and everything. And, certain guys that I've kind of built relationships with over the years. They've helped me, I guess, after we played them or before we played them, just having those type of conversations. So, but mainly, my family and the people we see in here, those two over there, they keep me pretty sane for the most part. Sometimes they make me insane.
Anybody else
Last
during
question.
those couple of little conversations, like any advice that because you're like, wow, that's actually helped me and stuck with me since we had that conversation?
I don't know. I think I would say this. Donovan Mitchell, ever since last year's All Star, has really been like checking in on me as far as like every time we play them. Just like how he's seeing, I told him I needed help. Like last year when Joel went down, I was seeing boxing ones and traps. Like never seen that in my life. So he's someone who saw it early in his career as well. So like he's just been checking in on me. Like you starting to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like yeah, I can see it. And you see the same things that I see out there, and it's a cool thing to see, and you're being successful. So shout out to him. He has helped me a lot. So